Everyone, we're going to start working on a 3/4 female head. I already got sort of like my rough draft of what we're kind of going for. So this is what we're aiming for, which is a female head in anime form with pigtails. So here's how we're going to do it. So first what we're going to do is we're going to create a sphere. So we're going to create as much of a sphere as possible, or gesture one as much as possible. And kind of keep it like almost the same circumference as your fist if you close it up. That's like a good indicator. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start to kind of curve in a little bit. With a curved in line. Almost to where we expect to have a cheekbone, which is right about here. And then we're going to just kind of bring this line down a little bit. And then from here, we're going to recede back to what we anticipate to be a jawline. And then before we put anything else in, we're going to just double check everything and then see what exactly we have for the face. So in order to really check the proportions of the face, here's what you need to do. So typically with the face part, I'll just go ahead and put that in there. You're gonna put some crosshairs on it. And kind of indicate that this is sort of like a three-dimensional figure, kind of going back and receding into space. And then we're going to go ahead and do it the other way for the top head. So what it looks like right here is we need to kind of just bring this out just a tad bit for the face. So this is how we kind of place ourselves and see if we can definitely fix our proportions. Now as far as for the rest of the head looks pretty close. So we're just gonna go ahead and complete those crosshairs right there. Almost like a knight helmet kind of fashion. And then what you're gonna do is you're going to go ahead and start the ear, which will recede right about close to here. So anytime when the crosshairs are placed, where it recedes back closer to the head is where we're going to start to recede the ear. So we're going to start to recede the ear, kind of going up a little bit and coming back down to about where the jawline is. Because that's where we're going to place everything. Then we're going to recede the jaw a little bit more, like so, just to see where our ear is going to be placed and see if we can fix it up a little bit, like so. There we go. Alright, and so now we can just erase that line for now because we won't need it later. So now we're going to go ahead and start to draw the actual eyes. So with the eyes, you want to start with a little space. Now it's going to be a little foreshortened on this side compared to this side. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. Just imagine there's like an eye right here. And it's separating both your eyes. And so you're going to want to start to draw kind of like this upside down trapezoid sort of shape. And I'll explain why in a minute. But that's approximately where your main eye is going to be on this side. And this one's going to be a little foreshortened. Same similar concept. It's going to be foreshortened right about kind of close to there. Just to kind of give us a placement of where the eyes are going to be. And then we're going to go ahead and erase the middle eye because we don't need it anymore. And now what we're going to do is we're going to fine-tune these eyes a little bit. So typically with the eye of a female, it's going to curve in a little bit with the eyelid, and it's going to come out to a tip with the eyelash, like so. And we're going to kind of create a little bit of an indication that there's an eyelid. The main thing to keep in mind is that you want it to kind of appear that it's wrapping around the eye rather than just sitting on top of it. Because that's how the eye usually works in anime. And then instead of bringing it right to here, we're going to bring it in a little bit with the iris. Kind of like so. We're going to make it sort of like an oval shape. And part of the oval is going to be covered with the top lid. We're going to use this as an indicator to kind of place the bottom part of our eye, which we're going to do just a line to indicate the bottom part of the eye. You can go ahead and erase the extraneous stuff or gesture marks just to give some more fine-tuned eye. And then we're going to go ahead and draw the pupil. Like so. With a little maybe reflective light right there. And we got this eye. Now we're going to start working on this eye right over here. Same concept. You have it curling in. That's something to keep in mind. And that it's still wrapping around the eye. Kind of going out to an eyelash. Like so. And then we're going to start to bring in the iris. Like so. With the pupil. And then a little shiny right there too. We're going to cover the top part of the iris to show that it's kind of being wrapped around. And then we're going to use the bottom of it to kind of depict where the bottom part of our eye is going to be. Kind of depict it kind of receding back to the side of the face. Like so. Alright. Just kind of fixing this part of the eye. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to start to create a nose. Which with the nose, we're just going to use this line. And then usually right in between the bottom corner of the eyes, we're going to start drawing the nose. Which we're going to draw kind of a slope nose. Which kind of goes off like a ski slope, and then recedes back in to like the bottom part. So that's going to be our nose. And then with the mouth is going to be a little bit between, or at least a third, from the bottom of the nose to the bottom of the chin. So it's going to be approximately right about here. And we're going to start to recede it back to kind of where this eye sort of starts, right about here, where she's kind of smiling. And then indicate that it's receding to the other side as well. We're going to fix the bottom part of this eye just a tad bit. Here we go. Because we want to make sure that that's a little bit curved, but not too curved at the bottom. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just sort of fine-tune the side of the head and create a little bit of a cheek right here where her cheekbone is. And have a little divot where it's kind of close to her mouth until it goes to the chin, where it kind of curves down to the chin. And we're going to go ahead and erase the gesture drawing on both sides a little bit so we can fine tune it. And you always want to start with the HB pencil first, just because of the fact that it's easier to erase than it is to use a softer pencil, because softer pencils are going to be difficult for you to get that part out. And then with the ear, we're just going to do sort of a squished 6, where we have like the bottom part of the 6 kind of squished, and the top part of the bottom part is still rounded, but that's kind of how you do like a generic ear. We'll just go ahead and fine-tune the ear a little bit more so it looks like an ear. There we go. And we can add just like a little accessory if we want, like a little earring. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do eyebrows. So you're going to use like the side here to place where your eyebrow is going to be, and you're going to keep them slim, because you definitely don't want to make them too bushy. And then for this side, you're going to foreshorten it just a tad bit. There we go. She kind of looks very cunning. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and start, since we got a good face going on here, we're going to start and using a darker pencil, which in this case I should probably use a 4B just to kind of start off with. And with a 4B, it's easier to go back over your lines, because it's easier to sharpen a 4B and get those darker lines. We're going to go ahead and work on this eyelash a little bit, along with this a little darker. Make the pupil dark with the little highlight thing. You're gonna shade in a little bit around the eye. And if you want, you can retrace the iris a bit. And just kind of transition a little bit to make it seem like it has a sheen to it. There we go. And for the bottom part, and there we go. And we're gonna do the mouth. Oh, I guess I forgot a little div right here for the bottom part of the lip. That's important. Now we're going to go ahead and do the other eye. Like so. We're going to shade in a little bit. We're going to fill in the pupil. I think that's a tad bit too dark. I have to go back in a little bit and pull that highlight out. Oh, that's the wrong one. No! Bring back the white. Oh, good. Alright, so I can still pull it out. Like I said, always good to sketch lightly instead of start with dark. Alright, there we go. And with the bottom part of the eye, like so. Now we're going to go ahead and do sort of the bottom part of the face. Just to kind of go and trace the bottom part of the face. Like right about to there, because we'll need that space open later. You'll see why. Alright, there we go. And we'll go ahead and draw a neck. Kind of starting down there. And then the back of the neck right about there. Like so. Alright, so now we're going to do the fun part, which is the hair. So with the hair, it's going to be interesting because with the hair, we're going to start with this up here being where the hair recedes. So we're going to go ahead and start pulling the hair. Oh wait, hang on a sec. Oh, the top of the head is a bit too tall. That's gonna mess with our measurements a bit. Alright, so let's go ahead. I should be starting with the HB too. So let's go ahead and just round that up a little bit more. Just so I could see it's the top of the skull. Yeah, like so. There we go. That's beautiful. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and, like I said, use a lighter pencil and start to recede the hair to that part. And you always want to start in sections, just because it's a lot easier to keep track of your drawing than it is to do one whole big shape. Alright, so now here's where this one part I was telling you about is going to come in. So this part is going to go right before the ear, kind of come down right about here and create sort of like this ribbon effect. And with the ribbon, you always want to start with having it kind of curled down to a point with the underbelly kind of curled as well as the over. And then you're going to curl like so. Curl. Then curl the line this way. Like this way too. And you're going to curl again, like so. And then curl. You're going to come out to a point and recede back in to right about there. So you got like a little ribbon hair going. Like maybe make little folds in the hair to show that there's a little movement. Alright, so now what you're going to do is you're going to go to the other side. And you're going to branch off from this part of the hair. And you go straight up. Get a little skinnier, right up to there. Maybe go a little bit out, just to kind of show the rounding of the skull a little bit. And then you're going to go ahead and create more hair in sections, like I said before. And it's okay if it goes over the eyes a little bit, because that's how it typically happens in anime. And we're going to do this big, huge bang. Proceeding from there. Oh, okay. So it's going to be a little different. Right there. That's going to recede there. It's going to be right about here. And we're going to make this huge bang. So it's going to curl right about to here. Where you got your little eyebrow right there. And then you're going to bounce off, go boom. Bounce off, curl right back to the head, like so. There you have it. Have this little bump right up here. So that way it's not totally curved. Have like a little bump. Like a little bump right here. Because right here, what we're going to do is we're going to recede the hair to the bun that we're going to make. There's going to be a bun or side of the ponytail right over here. And right here, I'm going to start to create where everything kind of is collected for the hair. And then we're going to go down right about to there, to where it goes a little bit right at the tip of the ear. And we're going to do a line there. And then we're going to go from the ribbon hair all the way to the back of the head like so, creating this sort of like texture overlapping, going straight to this right here. There we go. And then we're going to kind of do the same thing at the top. A little bit of a curling or indication that it's curling in Actually, that might not need to be there. There you go. Yeah, that's a little better. We're gonna take out the gesture of that. There we go. And then we're gonna go ahead and draw this up like that, with little hair kind of sticking out. And we're gonna go over here, whoosh. Little strand over this big mass of hair. And we're just gonna kind of create this sort of like a winged shape, if you will. As it recedes down, and then we're gonna curl in like so. We're gonna curl up, curl down, curl up, receding back to the back of the head, like so. There we go. So we have a smooth transition. And we're gonna go ahead to the other side to work on the other side. Oh, I almost forgot. There we go. Now it looks like that there's a bottom to this, and it's receding in. There we go. All right, so now we're gonna go to the other side. I'm gonna start where we made this first little bump right here. And we're gonna go ahead and curl out, like so. Curl it in. Whoosh, out. Curl in. Whoosh, out. Curl in. Whoosh, out. And then you're gonna make this S kind of curve. I might make that a little bit too far. Go right there. And then you're gonna recede back right about a little bit above the lip. So yeah, I did make that a little too far down. There we go. And then right here, we're gonna make another ribbon hair, kind of curling out, like so. With a little line kind of going in the middle of it. It's gonna come out like a regular line, and it's gonna come out like so. There we go. Alright, so the main biggest thing we're gonna do, now that we have the hair and everything in place, is we're just gonna go back through with a darker pencil. Focusing on the main biggest lines that we just made. We can always go back and erase some lines if we need to. For the hair, that is. I'm going to go back here. Going to work very diligently because of time. So, now onto this part. And that's how you do it. Hope you like this video.